Make some noise for your host, Kid Copious.
What up, perps? Kid Copious, back in the bunker. Purple State Party, you know what we represent here. America, the scent, common sense. Things that go kablooey and shoot streamers all over the place. So, alright, we're looking at our title card right here. I think you're smart enough by now to figure out what the title means there. If not, look it up. Put it into a Google Translator. Yeah, you know. So speaking of Google, you know, I use Google a lot and I use Yahoo a lot. I don't use Fox. I don't use CNN, MSNBC, Newsmax, any of the other places. I just, you know, I need to know what the other side is saying. I don't like to live in an echo chamber. And that's one of the problems we have nowadays, is you have people who live in an echo chamber. And sometimes they don't really have a choice. As you can see here with this Yahoo, you know, their goal is to create a safe and welcoming environment for their community. So they're suspending commenting on articles. I don't understand where is the community coming from then? If people can't discuss things, then where are they coming from? I got a lot of shadows right now because I don't have a front light. It just blew out. But yeah, echo chambers are the biggest problem we have now. The algorithms drive consistent messaging to people, and they don't see the other side. And when comments are turned off, yeah, it cuts down on the ugliness, but it also cuts down on people being able to point out simple facts, you know. When somebody goes off and talks about, oh, rich people don't pay their share of taxes. Well, they do, and it's proven. But how are you supposed to tell people if the commenting's off? How are you supposed to get across to people important messages if those messages don't align with the algorithms? This is a big problem we have, echo chambers. You know, I wonder how many liberals, far left, defund the police type people saw an article like this. San Francisco families no longer feel safe. Hire private security among crime spree. These are rich people. That's why it's easy for rich people to pass some of these dumbass laws, because they're not as affected by it. I mean, is the poor family, is the average family, forget about poor, is the average family going to be able to get private security? No. If they want security, they're going to have to fend for themselves. And that's what we're seeing. We're seeing ludicrous proposals on a daily basis. We're seeing insane styles of reporting, flat out propaganda type reporting. We're looking at this one. You know, Condoleezza Rice. I don't have to make white kids feel bad for being white. That's what she said on The View. You know, we should be able to empower black children without hurting white children. Okay? It's a pretty simple statement. But no, according to this dickhead with that piece of shit website, you know, Condoleezza Rice's CRT stance proves she's a foot soldier for white supremacy. You see a theme here. You know, a black person, Candace Owens, Larry Elder, people such as that, stand up against the Democrats and they get labeled as foot soldiers for white supremacy. Condoleezza Rice. Really? That's a really strange one. A really respected person, happens to be of black heritage, African heritage. But she's a foot soldier for white supremacy. You see, that's the kind of tactic that they're using. And if you're living in an echo chamber, you're just going to believe that. You're never going to see somebody's response to that. You're not going to see what people are saying about how stupid that comment really is. She's not a foot soldier. You're being really racist when you say that a black person must toe the Democratic line or they're a foot soldier for white supremacists. You must be a Democrat or you're a white supremacist. Larry Elder ran as a Republican, white supremacist. Condoleezza Rice, we're seeing right here, white supremacist. Candace Owens speaks out against blacks being used by the Democratic Party. White supremacy. That's your go-to. That's what your people are trained to believe. Anything that's contradictory to the far left is racist. Andrew Cuomo, guy I can't despise. I just despise this guy. Now, he is going to be arrested and charged. Hopefully he'll have to register as a sex offender. Something tells me being rich and powerful, he'll get out of it. You know, but look at how it's treated. Look at how it's treated. Where's the Me Too? Where is that? Where's hashtag Me Too in all of this? You know, he's on their side, so it's okay for him to do those things. Is that what we're really saying? You vote the right way, you can do what you want? Is that really what we want for our children to grow up in? A society where the media and the government punishes anybody who's not on their side, even when they do despicable things? Trolling through some left-wing stuff today, some of the left-wing accounts that I follow. I love this one. Investing in jails and prison won't solve homelessness, substance use disorder, or mental health crisis. They only disappear the people who are already too frequently ignored. Instead, we should invest in making sure that everyone gets the support they need. Well, guess what, Snowflake? We're already doing that. We've already set aside money to divert people into rehab programs. We've already tried that. We've been trying that for over a decade now. And guess what? It hasn't worked. You know why? Drug addicts don't want help. Drug addicts want to remain drug addicts. The drug makes you do that. The best statistics out there say that when people go to rehab, about 30% of the people will make it. 3 out of 10 will succeed. 7 out of 10 will fail. So yeah, you have to put them into jail at some point. They are a danger to themselves and they are a danger to society. And as we talked about last week, there is a new meth in town streaming across the southern border from the Mexican cartels. And it's the newly manufactured meth that is turning these people into crazed zombies who are going to do whatever they want because the laws in a lot of our states now and a lot of our cities are so lax that they almost have to push the boundaries. I see these people on a daily basis. I see how they destroy businesses. I see the rocks being thrown through windows. I see them sitting out in front of buildings scaring off potential customers. I see women having to walk amongst these crazed out drug zombies. And this dude is so late to the party, or this United Humanists or whatever, you know, to say read a book or something, man, because we've tried it. We've tried offering them help. They are currently trying to offer them help. But they won't live by the rules. They want to keep doing their drug of choice. So what are you supposed to do? Found this one really interesting. This comes from what at least appears to be a black lady. You know, I don't know. I can only go by the name of the picture. But the difference between Trump hate and Biden hate is that the Trump hate was manufactured by the media. The Biden hate is authentic by the people. That's true. I mean, there's reasons to not like Trump as a person. But as a president, I don't really know what he did that was so wrong. You know, maybe he didn't like his stance on COVID, but everything else he did good. Right now, they're trying to hold up Biden's job numbers. Well, what about Trump's job numbers? Lowest unemployment for women, lowest unemployment for Hispanics, lowest unemployment for blacks. You didn't give him credit for that, but you're going to give Biden credit. Okay. All right, you know. The king of the echo chamber, Facebook, has changed its name to Meta, which in case you haven't read or seen, Meta in Hebrew means dead. It's a feminine adjective for dead. In hopes of reversing brand damage. You're done. You're done. The fact remains, even if you agree with the misinformation that you allow through, if you allow people who are known terrorists to have accounts, but the ex-president can't, you know, things like that, these media groups, man, they're just propagandists. And they're making money off of it. While you're out there screaming about billionaires not paying their taxes, This guy's making money off of you, selling you propaganda, keeping people in power that he wants to keep in power. Not people that will do good for the average or below average income families, or the people that are struggling, or the people that actually need assistance, or the people who deserve assistance. No. Okay. Joe Biden is the worst and most clueless president in modern history. And he's the latest, he's the first and only winner of the, well, he made Jimmy Carter look good. This guy is, supposedly all those millions of people voted for him. And his approval ratings, he's the largest drop of any president since 1953. Wow. That's nearly 70 years ago. Right? My math ain't strong. 11-point approval drop. Just like that. And why? Well, one reason might be that he wants to pay $450,000 per person to immigrants separated at the border. These people were committing a crime, and now they are going to profit bigly off of it. Let's go, Brandon. I mean, it is really just a cluster bomb out there. Look at all those problems right now that we have. The supply chain is backed up, and Buttigieg is on vacation. Open borders. We have sections of the wall that aren't being built. Nobody's taking it seriously. He wants to pay immigrants who are separated now. China is making moves on Taiwan, the COVID virus, which hasn't changed much. Sure, things are a little bit more open now, but the ugliness and the rhetoric is getting worse and worse. High crime rates, inflation, yep. Fentanyl and other drugs streaming across the border. Fentanyl and meth just freely moving across the border at this point. Illegal immigration just freely moving across the border. And what are all these people going to do? Are they just going to suck off the teat of the American taxpayer? Because they're not legally allowed to work in the United States. So what are they going to do? What are they going to do? Because we're not talking about hundreds. We're talking about thousands. Tens of thousands. And in the midst of all this, he's having, a $500,000 fence built around his beach house. He's fencing off his entire beach house, but he won't finish the border wall. Bernie Sanders here, he's happy because the Build Back Better framework is the most significant piece of legislation ever passed to tackle climate crisis. Oh, we're going to solve climate crisis. When nobody else wants to join in. A few small, little, insignificant countries have joined in, but the big boys polluting the shit out of the world. So, all right, so now you've got your $500+ billion, okay? So let's see what happens in 3 years. Let's see where we're at. Or are they still going to be saying they need more money, they need more time, they need more resources? Because right now, the only thing we know for sure about climate change is that the Democrats have figured out how to profit off of it. The only thing that's going to change is the size of people's bank accounts. That's it. That's it. Solar companies will make a lot of money. People who invest in them will make a lot of money, and we'll still have the problems. And just you wait, because eventually all of the batteries that are involved in the whole new way of doing things on electricity, it's all going to come back and bite people in the ass. When we don't have gas generators. Yeah. What are you going to do when you have an electric vehicle and an electric generator that runs off of what? This mythical hydrogen that they're working on? Okay. Well, we're just going to have giant batteries now to power our house in the event of a blackout? And what happens when we need to get rid of those batteries? When they swell up and explode in the heat? Or when they just can't hold the charge anymore? What are we going to do? What kind of a toxic wasteland are we going to create with all of these batteries? Have you thought about that? Probably not. This is just a whole banner right here. I mean, Jake Paul's going to fight an actual boxer. Climate change people are predicting that Wall Street will be underwater. So mark that in your calendar. It's going to be underwater. Okay. All right. Conservatives have a code now for insulting Biden. We already know what that is, right? Let's go Brandon. But, you know, it all started innocently enough when a reporter thought, maybe rightfully so, maybe she's just covering because of all the swearing, all the F Biden that was going on, and she says, let's go Brandon. And it's taken off like a storm, even bigger now. But you notice that the Associated Press was talking about that and said that she heard the slur. So now, let's go Brandon is a slur. That's very interesting. The Southwest pilot used it at the end of his opening speech to some audible gasps. Is that what it was? Audible gasps. Wow. People were offended. Oh, no, they don't like our president. Who the fuck likes the president now? Who? Like 3 out of 10 people? And I'm guessing out of those 3, most of them are just brainwashed and live in an echo chamber and have no idea what's going on. They think, oh, no, there's no problem at the border. 10,000 more people are heading this way. See, again, let's go Brandon mocks Biden. It sailed past Adele on the #1 on the iTunes charts. Yeah, it's catching on. Politicians here. Look at this dude wearing a mask. Let's go Brandon. This Marine veteran right here, he stopped an armed robbery. Literally smashed one suspect in the face with a bag full of energy drinks. Grabbed the guy with the pistol and threw him to the ground. And he shows up wearing a Let's Go Brandon shirt. I got mine on the way from Armstrong and Getty. I ordered mine. This is great. This is the fucking greatest thing ever because nobody can stop it. It's not foul language. It's not saying anything that's directly at anybody. It's not inciting anything. It's just a simple 3-word sentence. Let's go Brandon. I love how under that they put up information about COVID. Because they just assume at this point, I mean, they really do just assume at this point, if you're not for Biden, then you must be anti-vaccination or whatever. It is just a stupid world we live in, man. The people who are putting up these fact checks or info on COVID, right, they know what's going on. They know we have the upper hand, and they know Biden's doing a bad job. See, again, here's another one. Because he says, the lady says no vaccination, no candy, and the other kid says, let's go Brandon. And they put up COVID information on it. Because it's just, it's just propaganda. Propaganda doesn't care what the subject is. The end result is just make you comply. It's so stupid. It is so stupid. And then they shield people from some of the dumbass shit that's going on. This Loudoun County, right? The student staged a walkout. A girl was assaulted in a bathroom. She was sodomized and basically tortured for a long period of time, okay, by a male who identified as a female and was thus allowed access to the girl's bathroom where he attacked this poor girl. The father went to the school board meeting and said, "Why, what WTF, man?" And he ended up getting arrested. He's facing charges. Biden has the Department of Justice and the FBI looking into these parents who are raising concerns about the sexual assaults, the CRT. Look at this. Same place, Loudoun County. If you want to view the CRT-inspired curriculum, you have to sign an NDA. See, the reason they have to keep the echo chamber going is because this is the kind of thing that will break down your loyalty to a party. When you realize, if you are a parent and you want to see the curriculum, you have to sign an NDA. Teachers Union in Virginia here, backing McAuliffe, promotes an article claiming parents don't have a right in what kids are taught. We don't have a right. I don't worry about it. My daughter's private. She does an online school. I pay for it out of my own pocket. Where's my money? See, they're not going to give me credit for that. They're not going to give me back my taxes that pay for a public school that my daughter doesn't attend. She had issues. She tried at the main school. She tried at the secondary school. It just didn't work. And eventually we realized her education was going to be found online. You know, they're telling people, these school boards have no respect for the parents at all. One was worried about vaccinating their young child, and after she left the podium, the school board president said, F you, and she was caught on hot mic. This is what voting for Biden gets you. He is not the moderate Democrat that we were sold. He is a far left lunatic who has completely caved into the far leftists. You know, Binyamin here. Resistance to taxation is at the rotten core of the modern Republican Party. Oh, it's the rotten core. Dan Crenshaw answers, yeah, we're resistant to burdening people and businesses with excessive taxes, especially when a government is likely to waste that money bribing citizens for their votes. And that's what's going on. That's why they wanted all of these health care and daycare and child care and pre-K. They got pre-K, and there's not one single report that says pre-K is of any benefit. There's actually some, you look it up, that say it's harmful. The results are evened out by third grade. It does nothing. You know, and part of what he's trying to get across right now is they would like to tax people on unrealized gains. So if you buy a house for $100,000 and you sell it for $200,000, pay off your mortgage, thus profiting $100,000, they will tax that $100,000. That's logic. Makes sense. You got $100,000, you're going to get taxed. You got it. What they want to do is say, if you bought your house for $100,000 and it's now worth $200,000, we're going to tax you. So if you manage to buy a home, let's say here in California, good luck, and that house goes up in value, they're going to tax you on top of all your other taxes, on top of your property taxes. They're going to tax you even though you didn't get any money. Not when you sell it, when it goes up in value. But if it goes down in value, you're not getting a rebate. They're going to keep the money from the gain. So if your house goes up $50,000, tax. Goes down $60,000, nothing. It goes back up $70,000, taxed. Tax. So they can spend and buy votes. Because that's all they're doing. So Babylon Bee jumped into the fray with man excited for giant refund after claiming $1 million of unrealized charitable donations. There you go. I was thinking about making a donation. I mean, it's the same lunacy as what they want, as what they're proposing. And don't think that that's going to just affect rich people. It's going to affect everybody. I mean, where are they going to stop? What if you buy a comic book and it goes up in value? What if you buy a baseball card, a house, a car? How are people going to invest? Every time your stock goes up, you're going to get taxed? What about when it goes down? Nothing? That's their plan. Because it's all a boondoggle. They want to just reap so many billions of dollars that they could skim it and nobody will see it. Jen Psaki points out that inflation doesn't matter since there are no goods to purchase anyway. NASCAR race ends early as gas gets too expensive for anyone to reach the finish line. That's what we're seeing, okay? That's what we're seeing. I've personally seen it because I've kind of been politically this way for a while now. And my wife, yep, shocker, I'm married, has always said, I just want to worry about my corner of the world. Never really got into politics very much. Probably was voting Democrat. I didn't really care. It's her mind. She's allowed to make it up however she wants, you know. But I point out these articles all the time. Last night, man, 2 hours of her just railing on these things because she's seen the light. She's seen that Democrats don't care about average families. She was screaming about the gas prices, how much it costs to fill up her car all of a sudden. Yeah, you can't escape those things. The school boards. You know, we always regretted that our daughter couldn't continue on in public school, and we worried about it. And now we're glad we made the switch. Because it's turning into an indoctrination camp. They're not worrying about turning out students who can succeed in the modern world. They're turning out radicals. And that's what they're doing. Lighten it for a second here, man. Couple with 9 entertainment subscriptions just going to watch The Office again. Oh, I love that one because that's me in a nutshell. I mean, it's a little bit different. I'm watching Frasier because I've just finished watching Office. But, you know, that's one of the reasons why money's scarce for a lot of people now, because we're spending money on so many subscriptions that we don't use, and it's just money down a toilet. Don't even get me started about the loot crates and shit like that. American who got $1,200 in exchange for lost livelihood wishes he had just illegally crossed the border for $450,000. Yeah. I mean, the echo chamber must exist so people don't put 2 and 2 together and realize that obviously our current government cares more about illegal aliens who broke the law and snuck into our country than they do about the average worker. They don't care. If that guy right there in that picture said, "Let's go, Brandon," he'd be labeled as a foot soldier for the white supremacists. There you go. Might not even work again. Might have the DOJ or the FBI looking into him. That's who they care about, and more people are seeing it. We must, under all circumstances, crush the echo chambers. Supply chain crisis solved as each migrant coming into the country will now be asked to help carry a shipping container. Oh, man, the bee strikes again. You know, they're not helping. These migrant caravans are not going to help lift us out of the problems that we have. Being nice is not going to change anything. Pfizer claims vaccine will reduce average daily child COVID deaths from almost 0 to almost 0. Yeah. Have you seen the pictures of them taping and tying masks onto autistic children? Yeah, that's 1 in a blank. But it's symptomatic of what is going on. This craze, this media frenzy that has people scared of something that we have the upper hand on, and it's not that bad. The longer you comply with their insane demands, the more insane their demands are going to get. You notice? COVID information. You know, it's not just that. It's the CRT in the schools. It's our taxes going to boondoggle swindles. The bullet train in California, climate change. You know? Hey, let's clean up, man. I see people out there, Mr. Beast, man. He's raising money to help clean beaches. Well, let's clean this shit up. Let's clean America up. Let's make America bright and shiny. You know what? Let's make America great again. DOJ, here you go. We were talking about this. There's the parents right there. You know? I'm watching you, says the DOJ. Let's go, Brandon. That's who they're concerned with. People who are raising questions about CRT. And back to the fabulous tax scheme of taxing unrealized gains. Janet Yellen proposes tax on coins you acquire in Mario. You see? Acquire in Mario. You see? Oh, man. Look, folks, the echo chamber is being used to cover up this stuff. All right? They don't care about you at all. They just want more and more money, and they figured out how to get their hooks into it now. You know, climate change and taxing the rich. It's a slippery slope. If you look at a lot of the problems we have right now, okay, it can be summed up very easily. There was an article, I don't remember who it was, but he was a former Democrat who worked with people on the streets. And he was talking about how the plan was supposed to be rehab and getting these people back on the straight and narrow. But the left has abandoned that. They just want them on the streets to die because they don't care and they just want money for it so that they could swindle it and pay consultants. Now, I know the Republicans are not always the best people. I have no problem with that. I see them taking money from Big Pharma and then voting in favor of Big Pharma. I see things like that. But they're not in control right now. These kind of people like Yellen are in control right now. And they are going to sell you through their propaganda machines, tax the rich. But it's going to come out of your pocket. If not today, then tomorrow. It's happened before and it's happening again. And we need to put a stop to it somehow. Let's go, Brandon. Copious out.